Stop doing these exercises before your body stops for you. Yeah, that's bold, but it's also the truth most men over 40 ignore until it's too late. You've been told that pushing harder is the only way to get stronger, that soreness means progress, that lifting heavy is a badge of honor. But here's the uncomfortable truth. After 40, some of the most popular exercises can quietly wreck your joints, spike your injury risk, and kill your gains. Worse yet, they feel normal until one day your shoulder gives out, your back locks up, or your energy tanks after every workout. And the worst part is, almost nobody tells you what's really going on. That changes today. In this video, I'm breaking down 4 exercises that you, as a man over 40, should stop doing immediately. Not because you're weak, but because you're smarter now. The goal isn't just to look good, it's to move better, feel stronger, and stay in the game for decades. And yes, in the next video, I'll show you exactly what to do instead. Safe, powerful alternatives that build strength without destroying your body. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss that follow-up. 1. Traditional ab exercises. Let's start with one of the most overrated and dangerous core exercises for men over 40. The classic sit-up and crunch. Yeah, I know. These moves are iconic. Every gym bro, every movie montage, every boot camp class swears by them. But here's the deal. Traditional ab exercises like sit-ups and crunches create repeated spinal flexion, that forward bending motion, which places serious pressure on your lumbar discs. Now imagine doing that under fatigue, with poor form, and maybe even with your hands behind your head pulling on your neck. That's a perfect storm for disc herniation, neck strain, and chronic lower back pain. Especially when your spine isn't as resilient as it used to be in your 20s. And it's not just anecdotal. Studies from leading spine researchers have shown how this repetitive compression leads to accelerated wear on the spine, something that gets riskier with age. You might feel a good burn in your abs, but you're paying the price where it matters most, your spine and posture. So if you're still cranking out crunches or sit-ups, thinking you're building a strong core, you're not. You're training dysfunction. You're reinforcing poor movement patterns. And sooner or later, your back's gonna let you know. And here's the kicker. Just like your spine isn't built for endless crunches, your shoulders aren't built for what we're about to talk about next. The next exercise is even more deceptive because it's still taught in gyms today. And it's a shoulder destroyer in disguise. 2. Behind the neck press. You might have done this one in your younger days. Maybe you still do. But let me say it straight. The behind the neck press is a shoulder injury waiting to happen. At first glance, it seems like a solid strength move. Barbell, overhead press, big pump, right? Wrong. This exercise forces your shoulders into extreme external rotation while also pushing your neck forward. 2 positions that your body just isn't designed to tolerate, especially after 40. And the danger's not always immediate. That's the sneaky part. Week after week, the wear adds up. You feel a little pinch, then a little stiffness, then one day, boom, impingement, tendon inflammation, maybe even a rotator cuff tear. Suddenly, brushing your hair or putting on a shirt becomes a problem. Sound familiar? The truth is, past 40, your joints don't have the same margin for error. And movements that demand aggressive joint positions, like the behind-the-neck press, put your body in a biomechanical trap. You're not training strength, you're setting up surgery. And if you think that's rough, wait until you hear what heavy back squats are doing to your spine. Next up is the king of ego lifts, and one of the biggest threats to long-term mobility if you're not careful. 3. Heavy back squat. The heavy barbell back squat. hailed as the king of leg day. But for men over 40, it might just be the king of spinal compression. Here's the deal. Back squats demand a perfect storm of mobility, stability, and technique. You need strong hips, mobile ankles, a solid core, and a healthy spine. All at the same time. Miss the mark on any of those, and that heavy barbell sitting across your spine turns into a ticking time bomb. Most guys over 40 don't realize how much pressure that load puts on their lower back, especially if their thoracic mobility or hip function is compromised, which it often is. One small compensation, like leaning too far forward or losing core tension, shifts all that weight onto the lumbar spine. You might get away with it at 25, but at 45, that same lift could be what leads to a bulging disc, chronic lower back pain, or the kind of tightness that takes weeks to unwind. And let's be real, at this point in your life, you're not training to impress anyone. You're training for performance, longevity, and freedom of movement. So if your ego still loves the idea of back squats, remind yourself of this. If the cost of strength is pain and limitation, is it really worth it? Stick around, because the next exercise hits harder than you'd expect. It's disguised as fat burning, but could be silently sabotaging your muscle gains. 4. Fasted high-rep cardio. This one's tricky because it's often sold as the secret weapon for fat loss. But for men over 40, fasted high-rep cardio might be one of the fastest ways to lose muscle and burn out your system. Let's break it down. Doing intense cardio without any fuel in your system spikes cortisol, the stress hormone that's already harder to regulate as you age. And when cortisol stays elevated, your body doesn't burn fat efficiently. It eats away at muscle. That's catabolism in action. You think you're cutting fat, but you're sacrificing the very muscle that protects your joints, powers your metabolism, and keeps you strong. Worse, ainda? That kind of training, done repeatedly, can leave you feeling drained, cranky, and inflamed. Your body sees it as a threat, not a stimulus for growth. And don't forget, as we age, recovery slows down. So while younger guys might bounce back from fasted cardio marathons, you're left with sore joints, poor sleep, and zero gains to show for it. The good news? There's a smarter way to train for fat loss without frying your muscle mass. But that's exactly what I'll show you in the next video. How to flip the script and train in a way that works with your body, not against it. So here's the brutal truth. Most men over 40 don't hear enough. Your body isn't fragile, but it's not bulletproof either. And those popular exercises we just talked about? They're not bad because you're older. They're bad because they ignore what your body actually needs now. Longevity, strength, joint health, that's the new gold standard. And if you want to move like an athlete, feel strong without pain, and stay functional for the long haul, you've got to stop training like you're still 25. The smartest men in fitness aren't the ones lifting the heaviest weights. They're the ones still lifting, pain-free, in their 60s and 70s. So, what's next? In the next video, I'll show you the right way to train. You'll discover exercises that are joint-friendly, muscle-building, and actually respect the stage of life you're in. Because real strength isn't just about what you lift, it's about how long you can keep lifting. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next. And drop a comment below. Which of these 4 exercises have you been doing? And which one are you cutting first? Let's rebuild smarter, stronger, for life.